Hello everybody, it's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to episode 2 of Wonderfill. I launched this series last Friday, and all of this month I'm going to be doing an episode on Fridays, so there'll be one each week, and then from November on I'm going to do one a month. And on Patreon, when I launch that in November, I'll be doing more regular videos on this series, so there'll be patron only content available on this series. If you haven't watched last week's video, please do go and watch it. There's a little fun activity to get involved with, and what it is, it's about recapturing the wonder of being a child. So that sense of wonder that everybody feels as a child and discovering things anew. So when you see something, it's exciting, it's perhaps scary or confusing, it's new, but there's always that sense of wonder associated with things when you come across it for the first time. And that's what we do as children. We're discovering so many things of our life and the world around us. So I want this series to be about recapturing that sense of wonder as an adult and taking things forward and enjoying things we used to do as a kid in perhaps a new way, exciting way, to rebuild that sense of wonder, because I think art is the perfect way in which to do this. So welcome along and let's get into this session. So please excuse me. For the emblem for this series, I've chosen a rainbow. A rainbow because, I don't know about you, but whenever I look at a rainbow, even as an adult, there's a sense of wonder. They're cool. They're not there all the time. There's certain conditions that have to be in place for them to appear. And then there's double rainbows, and there's very faint ones, there's very bold ones. And it's like, can you see the whole thing? You know, there's a lot of wonder around it, even as an adult. And I hope there is for you too. And they're colourful. And I think that's what really appeals to me, is that they're colourful, and I love colour. So we're going to play with rainbows today. And hopefully along the way you'll find that sense of wonder as well. So I've got some supplies out. I've got all my Sharpie pens. I love working with bold, bright colours, so they were definitely a must-have to have out. Then I've got some fine liners from Stabilo, and I've got my Inktense Pencils. If you haven't seen these before, they are basically acrylic ink in pencil form. So you draw them on like a regular pencil, and then you activate them with water. So they're an ink and kind of a little bit like watercolor, but they're more vibrant and permanent, so they won't reactivate once they're dry. So I thought maybe I'll play with those, and who knows, I have some acrylic paint as well. I'm not planning on getting into that, but so I recommend grabbing yourself a big piece of paper, as big as you can find. If you can only find an A4 sheet, just go with it, whatever you like. I just happen to have this cartridge paper that was in a drawing pad. I picked it up cheap on holiday once, and I thought this will be my surface for drawing on. And grab yourself whatever colourful supplies you like. If you like collage, then maybe you want to grab some sheets of paper that are in different colours. I do have some of those as well here, but I'm not really sort of set up to do that. Maybe that's another session I might do on my own. So firstly, let's look at a rainbow. A rainbow is Roy G. Viv. So probably learnt that at school like I did. So we've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. So I don't know if you can read that, but that's just a reminder of the colours that we're working with. But don't be limited by it. I want this to be really playful, and I want us to play with what a rainbow is. Like, yes, we have our traditional, our very realistic range of colours that a rainbow is. So let's start there as a starting point. So let's start with red, and I'm just going to do, and I'm going to tilt my paper because that's how I work comfortably. So I'm just going to start with doing a sort of normal rainbow, I guess. And I hope you play along with me. Grab out those colours and get into it. So orange next. And we're starting sort of normally, but we're going to get a bit more playful. And at the end, I hope you have a sheet that's just full up with all sorts of rainbows. And along the way, I want you to think about what a rainbow is and what it means to you. Like, do you have memories associated with it? So into the yellow now. Is it something that you enjoy with your children? Do you hunt for rainbows, or do you take photos of rainbows? Does it have some meaning or significance for you or your family? Or does it have a spiritual significance? It has a strong spiritual significance for me. As a Christian, the rainbow was a symbol given by God to promise that he wouldn't flood the earth again. So onto green. So for me, every time I look at a rainbow, I automatically think of God. So yeah, strong spiritual significance for me, but I know not everybody has that same belief or view. So yeah, think about what it means to you. It's used in a number of places as a symbol for a variety of reasons. And so perhaps one of those is more your more significant for you. Or maybe it's time to create a significance around rainbows, because they're pretty cool and they're colourful and fun. Okay, so doing blue now. And don't worry about being perfect. Like, I'm being probably a little bit too fussy, but this is just the starting point. So just a warm-up exercise, really. I always have a problem with indigo and violet. It's like, what exactly, which way round? But I think indigo is a very blue, deep blue, verging on purple. So I'm using this, I don't know what's called, they don't name their colours, so I'm not sure what to call it, but it's a very deep blue and it's running out, so hopefully I'll get my arch created. That's one I've used a lot, so it's running out of its life. So I might have to see if I can buy it separately, because I bought all these Sharpies as a pack. And I'd really like to replace this one so I get some easy colouring rather than sort of like forcing it to work almost. Okay, and purple. And this is a really dark purple, probably a bit darker than what I would want, but that's okay. Violet is typically lighter than indigo. Well, at least I think it is. So there we go. I've done my first rainbow. I hope you've done your first rainbow too. Okay, now that we've done that, we've got our colours, we've done a cute little rainbow. If you felt like it, you could go in and do some clouds underneath. I've got a silver Sharpie here. So rainbows are often shown with clouds underneath. So this is just an optional extra, which you don't have to do if you don't want to, but you could do clouds underneath. So now let's step it up a bit. Let's get a bit creative. So I'm just going to stay with my Sharpies for the moment. I'm just going to have a quick little drink of my coffee. Hopefully keep that frog away. And let's do I guess a half rainbow. So I'm going to use the same technique really, but this time I'm not going to stick true to the colours. So I always think pink should be in a rainbow, like poor pink misses out every time. So let's put a bit of pink in, because why not? We're having fun, we're getting creative and bringing in your own sense of wonder. So for my orange, I'm going to go, sorry, I've got a few hiccups there. I'll go for a peachy sort of orange, flesh coloured. And then I will go yellow as well. I'm just going to use a different yellow. It's a darker golden yellow. And you don't have to use all 7 colours. A lot of rainbows, particularly children's colouring versions, have anywhere from 4 to 6 bands. So don't feel like you have to use all 7 colours. And then I'm going to go with this light purple to finish with. And there's our wee part rainbow. Okay, so we've got different shapes of rainbows. You can do different shapes all within that sort of arch. You could do a circle, that'd be fun. I'm not going to do a circle, but why not? I might give it a go sometime. It's not something I've done. Okay, so now I'm going to do a rainbow that's back to front. So the colours are in reverse. So I'm going to go, there's my violet. Going to go indigo, and it's a little bit of a head game working back to front. Blue, and this time I'm just drawing lines, just keeping it super simple. Going to go for a darker green, and the yellow. And lately I've been doing rainbows back to front quite a bit, just for fun. You know, it gives it a different look. And that means you can tailor it to suit a project. So if you're working on a spread that's more purple, then by putting the purple on the outside, it makes it more prominent. So there we go, do a reverse rainbow. I hope this is really inspiring you. So let's move supplies now and try out some fine liners. And I might do another reverse rainbow. So you can do tall rainbows that are hollow lines. So I'm just going to draw 2 shapes joined at the bottom but left hollow. So I haven't got an indigo in this, so I'm just going to go with a dark blue. So this is a more sketchy version. So go in with our lighter blue to represent blue. And if you run out of room to do all the colours, just leave a colour out. It's perfectly fine. Green. And if they overlap, doesn't matter. Having a sketchy little version like this is fun, and it actually looks quite good as well. Green, yellow, so hopefully you've been thinking about what a rainbow is to you, what it means to you. Okay, so I'm running out of room, so I'm going to skip orange and just go to red. So there we've got a little sketchy rainbow. and it's a tall one. And you could go ahead and colour that in if you want, but I'm just leaving that one as, because I'm just playing, I'm experimenting. While I'm exploring the feeling and the vibes of rainbows and what they mean to me, I'm also playing and experimenting with art and supplies. So I'm going to bring over my Inktense and have a play with those, just in case there's people out there who haven't seen these or used these before. And I'm using a water brush pen. I didn't bring out a paper towel to clean it on, so I'll just bring out a dried wet wipe, and hopefully that'll work the same for me for cleaning the brush in between. So let's start with red, and I'm not sure that I've got all the colours I need. So this one's hot red, let's start with that. So I'm not sure I've got all the colours that I need to do the rainbow, so we'll just work it out as we go along. So what sort of rainbow? I think I'll just do a classic sort of wide shape. I'm just going to scribble colour it. These pencils do work best if you have quite a good coverage, I've found. But you know, we're keeping it experimental. Don't mind if it's sketchy. So orange, this one is tangerine, so let's go for that. And I'm hoping that I can get a bit of blending action going on with this rainbow. So you could easily do this with watercolours, you know, any paints that you want, just blend them while they're still wet. If you don't have the Inktense, maybe you've got watercolour pencils. Go with those, you'll just get a softer effect, unless you put lots of pigment down, of course. You could use pan watercolours. Play. I want you to play. I encourage you guys to just play, experiment, free up, because that's part of finding the wonder, is letting go of perfectionism, if that's a problem for you, of letting go of expectations, of trying to do something you know, worthy of sale or for somebody, or you know, just play for play's sake. Enjoy it. Let's go this green. Yeah. So I'd love for you to join me for the series, and I hope you get some good value out of it in terms of rediscovering some of that childlike wonder, you know. And if you are somebody whose childhood was, you know, not ideal or was difficult for some reason, then use this process to create a new story for yourself. Experience things that perhaps you might have missed out on. So if there's an activity you think, well, I didn't have that growing up, or I don't know about that, or you know, whatever the case might be, then you can still do this, but just create it now and use it as a process to enjoy something that you might have missed out on. So I'd really like this to be an inclusive thing that everybody can enjoy doing. You know, and it's not a bad thing to face bad memories or circumstances that aren't ideal. I've certainly got enough of those in my own life. But it can be part of the healing, part of the growth, part of processing it, even as an adult. This iron blue might be okay as an indigo, although I think there might actually be an indigo in this set. Maybe not. I thought there was. Here's a deep indigo. Okay, we'll go deep indigo. Since it says indigo, we'll trust that it's indigo. So yes, this pencil is very similar to this Sharpie one. It's sort of that deep blue, almost black blue, this one. At least when it's dry. It changes a bit when it's wet. Whoops, I did that one quite a bit thicker. Doesn't matter. It's all good. And of course you don't need a gap in the middle, you could completely fill that in with colour if you choose. And let's go, what purple do I want? Deep violet. Violet, no, we'll go with violet. So yes, I did have all the colours. Oops. One thing about Inktense pencils is if you make a mistake and draw somewhere that you don't want to, they are reasonably hard to erase. They don't like to be erased, particularly if it's quite a dark line. So I've managed to lighten that line I just mistakenly did, but it's not gone entirely. Okay, so let's get some water on it. And if you haven't seen this before, I hope you enjoy it. So I'm just going to turn it around to make it easier for myself. Make sure I've got some water coming out of my pen. I'm going to start with the yellow, just because it's the lightest colour. I hope you can see that changing. It's probably not the most easy to see colour change. And then I'm going to move it into the orange. Just blend it slightly and then into the red. Right, now I probably can't blend the yellow because it's probably dried on me, but I can move the green up into the yellow a little bit. And if you get too much pigment, you can just clean your brush off. So yeah, a lot of fun. I haven't used these for a while actually. I use them a lot for colouring and colouring books, but I haven't been doing much of that lately. So it's nice to get them out and play again. Good excuse to get out supplies that maybe you haven't played with in a while, or if you're like me, supplies that maybe you haven't used at all. Tucked away, sort of, that you bought and just haven't found a use, or maybe were given, just haven't found a project to use them on. Well, maybe today's the day, or maybe there's another session in Wonderfill where they'll come out and play. And the violet. Cool, done. Here we go, a very watercolory version. I just need to blow my nose, so I'll pop you on pause for a second. Okay, so we've been playing with the rainbow shape. How about other shapes? We don't need to stick to the rainbow shape. If you want it to look like a rainbow, then rainbow shape is obvious, isn't it? But let's have a look at, I'm going to go back to the Sharpies because they're just quick and easy for me to do while I'm talking. So I am thinking, and I also want to incorporate a black outline, very childlike, you know, colouring books, even as an adult, things that are often done with a black border and then we colour inside the border. There's no reason why you can't enjoy that here as well. So I'm going to, this is probably a bit thick, but I'm just going to go with it because then you will see it. And I'm going to do a traditional rainbow, traditional shape rainbow I should say, but I'm not going to do 7. I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, leave it at that. And then I'm going to come over here and think about a shape that I might want to explore a rainbow in. Oh, what's a shape? I wish you could tell me. Tell me what shape you'd like to explore in a... Let's do, if I can draw it, this is the challenge of doing it on camera, isn't it? Do a banana. Just because I happen to look over to the fruit bowl and see the bananas. So why not? Let's try a banana. What else can we try? Maybe we'll do a love heart. Everybody loves love hearts, don't they? I'm not a particularly good love heart drawer. I never seem to get them even. That one's bigger than that, but that's okay. Our actual hearts have one chamber, one side bigger than the other, so I think that's fine. I'm going to say it is anyway. So let's go in with our regular one first and give it some colour. And I love this bold style. I truly adore it. I think it's fun. It's very, very childlike. It's simple. It's easy to do. And I think it looks great. You know, if you like stained glass look, then it has that stained glass look. If you like bold colours, then this is totally one you should go for. Just hunting for, I might use the screen. I haven't used the screen yet in the session. And what do I want my last colour to be? Maybe just blue. Maybe I'll go with a brighter, deeper blue. This one. And see, again, I've done the reverse rainbow. And it looks good. You know, whether you do the true rainbow with the red on the outside or the reverse rainbow with the red on the inside, it still is effective and looks good. Right, now let's do our banana. Quirky little shape, not a lot of area to work with, but let's start. Don't really want to start with yellow, do I? I just picked up the yellow because I was thinking banana. Okay, let's start with red. And I'm not going to try and make them even or anything. I'm going to put some pink in here, just because I want some pink. I'm going to go into orange. I might need to make some of them bigger. I might run out of colours before I run out of banana. That's okay, you just make it up as you go along. This is what it is to be childlike and just play. There's no rules. And art should, you know, I think, be a lot like that too. No rules, just play, experiment, find what you like, what works for you, and go with that. Blue. Oh no, it seems to be working out pretty good. Indigo. So this one is an 8 colour rainbow because I've added the pink in. So you can use less colours, you can use more. So there we go, I've made a rainbow banana. And it's almost like a smile, like a Cheshire smile. It makes me laugh, it's fun. So, you know, I can feel that sense of wonder building in myself. That wonder that makes me smile, makes me happy, it makes me feel relaxed and joyful. Okay, so in my heart, we've got lots of different ways we could colour this to make it a rainbow heart. We could just do stripes, we could do spots, we could do, you know, draw smaller hearts radiating out to the outside. I'm not sure how I want to colour it actually. Maybe I will go sideways stripes. Oops, I keep getting my sponge in the way. I'm going to start down the bottom. No, and if you want even, if you want to be sort of more precise, then use a pencil, mark it out, do it however you would like. Now, instead of the indigo, I'm going to use the darker purple. And I'm just going to go with it and see how many colours I fit in, whether I fit them all or not. I'm not worried. And I'm not worried if they're all even or not. There we go. And use this nice bright blue. And they're not straight either. That doesn't matter. Doesn't worry me. This one's also running out, this blue. So there's a couple that I need to replace. I hope I can find them where I can buy them singly. And the colours that I need. Blue. Let's go this green. And then once you've done these, you can pop them in your journal. Use it to decorate your journal. If you're a journaler, you could cut them out, fussy cut them out and arrange them in an art journal spread. You could stick them on the cover of a book or a journal cover. You could do whatever you like, or you could just put it as a page in your art journal. You know, if you have one where you just play and experiment. So they don't need to just, you know, sit around doing nothing. You can use them. You can use them to journal about how you felt about this activity, or about what rainbows mean to you, what it made you think of, whether you enjoyed it, whether you even like rainbows. I mean, you might be somebody who doesn't like rainbows. I don't know. It's all about how you feel about it. I'm going to change oranges. Use this one. Yep, so I'm going to fit all 7 colours in. And red. There's one final thing I want to do before I end this video with rainbows. Okay, and that's use metallics. So I've got 3 metallics here in the Sharpies. I've got silver, gold and bronze. So I want to do a metallic rainbow. So I'm just going to move these other ones out my way because they kind of were getting further and further down my table as I used them. And I think I'm going to do a black outline first because I've only got the 3 colours. So I'm going to do maybe a tall rainbow. And I want it to be a bit wonky-ish. Because I think that's fun. And I'm really playing at the moment with a more childlike sense of art, form of art, because I find it very, very appealing. And just because it has a childish look doesn't mean it's actually easy. I'm finding it challenging, but a good sort of challenge, to make something look childlike. And sometimes I fail. Sometimes I try to make it look childlike and end up trying to make it realistic, and it doesn't work when you try and mix the two. Well, for me it doesn't. If some people who are far cleverer than I am, it will definitely work, but I can't make it work, and it just ends up looking a mess. So I've used the silver, now I'm doing the bronze. In no particular order I'm using these. There we go, and the gold. There we go, and I really like that too. It's not as vibrant or as colourful, but it's got a shine to it, which is also pleasing. So there we go. There's my rainbow play that I've done. So we started off with just doing a regular rainbow, and then we went and did some different shapes and styles and different materials and into some shapes, and then finished with our metallic one, just with the 3 colours. So I hope that you've played along with me or will give this a go at some point. I'd love to see what you do or hear what you think of this this whole series, but also just of this particular session. And if you feel like sharing what rainbows mean to you, then leave me a comment on the video, or you can pop into the Visual Vibes Facebook group and share some photos or thoughts in there as well. I'd so love to hear from you. I'm really, really excited about where the series can go, and hope you'll stay with me for it and enjoy it. So thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.